Okay, let's just dive right in. The scene opens on, well, on the immediate chilling aftermath of a catastrophe.
It's a disaster, yeah. And the companions are right in the middle of it. They're holding this legendary artifact they've been fighting for, the conch shell.
But the man who was just wielding it, this anchorite Moesko,
Sure.
he's gone. He's literally a pile of ash, killed by the very power they now hold in their hands.
It's the definition of a poison prize. And you've got to think about their psychological state right here. They did it. They accomplished the mission from Session 9.
Right.
Retrieve the conch from the Tower of Storms, all to fulfill that desperate bargain they made with Agatha the Banshee.
And the stakes, we have to remind everyone, are so incredibly high. This whole dangerous quest is for one reason: to lift the curse on their friend, Sister Gorella. So this conch, it's the key. But the tension is it's off the charts. They're holding a magical weapon that just murdered someone and, severely injured a bunch of them. That lightning bolt in Session 10 was no joke.
No, it left psychic scars as much as physical ones. They're carrying this collective trauma, and it's all embodied in this smooth white shell.
Yeah.
And that's really the challenge for this session, isn't it? This deep dive is about that moment of realization that just having the artifact, that's not enough. They have to actually use this incredibly volatile thing.
Which sets them up for a confrontation with, well, the ocean itself. They have the artifact, but how do they even begin to use it without what happened to Moesko happening to one of them?
It's a huge risk.
Yep.
And it requires them to step beyond caution, really, and into this domain of just sheer necessity.
The question for me is, do they even want to? I mean, after what they just saw, every instinct must be screaming at them to just, I don't know, lock it in a box and throw it in the sea.
And for most of them, I think that's true. But that inertia, that fear, it's broken by one person.
Valindra.
Valindra, the acolyte of Talos, the storm god. She's the pivot point. She's naturally drawn to this thing because it just vibrates with the kind of chaotic energy her god represents.
But at first, it's silent, right? It's just a shell.
Frustratingly so. It's this total disconnect between its mundane appearance and the terrifying power they know it holds.
That silence must be the most unnerving part. You're expecting it to hum or glow or something.
Anything. A residual heat, maybe? But there's nothing. So Valindra, she's driven by her faith, and the ticking clock of their bargain with Agatha, she reaches out.
And feels nothing.
Absolutely nothing. It's cold, inert, passive.
It's the calm before the storm, literally.
Exactly. And maybe that passivity, it kind of lulls her into a false sense of control. But the second she lifts it to her lips, just to test it, the silence is shattered.
Not by the shell.
No, not by the shell. By her own friends.
This is such a powerful moment for the group. The ones who got hit by that lightning bolt, they have this genuine trauma response. They're shouting, begging her to stop.
They know better than anyone what that thing is capable of. They've felt it.
And this fear, this absolute panic, it forces a physical reaction from Turin.
The pragmatic no-warrior. He's always the one thinking about structure, about safety. He just scrambles to build a makeshift box. His only goal is containment. Get this thing away from us.
And then there's that chilling detail. He closes the lid and the box it seals itself with this definitive magical click.
Right. It's not Turin's handiwork. It's something else. It's as if the magic itself, or maybe some old enchantment, recognizes the danger and locks it away. That click should have been the end of it for the day.
It should have been. But Valindra, she's not thinking that way.
No, she's operating on a different level. She sees their situation trapped under the cliffs, exhausted, exposed, and she thinks that is the greater threat.
So she needs a secure path forward. She needs control. And that focus just overrides all the caution, all the fear from her friends.
She pushes back. But here's the really interesting part. The box, which sealed itself with magic, it opens for her easily. It doesn't resist her at all. It just yields.
So what does that mean? The conch wants to be used.
That's the nugget right there. Why does it yield to her? It destroyed Moesko, who was arguably a more fanatical follower of Talos. But maybe the shell isn't looking for fanaticism. Maybe it's responding to her will, to the sheer undeniable necessity of the moment.
Or her faith.
Or her faith. Or a combination. It seems the conch isn't just a passive tool. It's a conduit that chooses its wielder. And it chose the person willing to commit to the biggest, most world-shaking action.
So is that courage, or is that just reckless devotion? Because raising that thing to your lips after seeing what it did, that takes one or the other.
Maybe a bit of both. She's choosing the immediate, controlled chaos of the conch over the drawn-out, uncertain chaos of their situation. It's a calculated risk.
And she believes waiting and trying to travel on foot, missing their deadline with Agatha, that's the higher risk. It's all about saving Gorella.
Her dedication to the mission is absolute, and apparently that's the key the Conch was waiting for.
Okay, so let's get to the moment itself. She ignores everyone, the worried looks, the last few pleas. She puts the conch to her lips, takes a breath, and blows.
And you're bracing yourself for a storm, a scream, a thunderclap, the crackle of lightning that killed Moesko.
But that's not what happens.
Not at all. The sound the source describes is.
Yeah.
It's more fundamental than that. It's not a sound for the air, it's a sound for the earth itself, a deep, sonorous boom.
Like the planet's core vibrating.
Yes, it's the sound of reality being forced to bend. It's not a weapon firing, it's the world's structure fundamentally changing.
And the effect is just biblical. The ocean, which was just crashing against the cliffs moments before, it just pulls back.
Abruptly, this colossal wall of water, retreating hundreds of feet in seconds, it defies physics. It's like watching a film in reverse.
The sensory overload must have been immense. First that deep hum, and then the silence.
And the sound of suction. Billions of gallons of water being pulled away. And the smell. The smell must have been overwhelming.
Wet sand, mud, and centuries of decay that haven't seen the sun.
They're standing on ground that no living person has ever stood on. The air is thick with history that was meant to stay buried.
And the sight. The revealed ocean floor, it's just littered with the bones of that history, shipwrecks everywhere. Ancient, twisted galleons next to more recent fishing boats.
It's an instant forbidden museum of sunken history. The sheer visual of it, I think, justifies the risk in her mind. It proves the artifact works. But the cost?
The cost is immediate. She's not getting this for free.
Not at all. The second the water pulls back, the drain begins. She can feel her life force being siphoned away. Not violently, like Moesko, but this deep, profound weariness that settles into her bones.
She's holding back an entire ocean with her will.
It's the ultimate test of willpower against the raw chaos of the elements.
And that physical cost, it puts a timer on everything. This isn't permanent. She can't hold this forever.
Which everyone else understands immediately. They have to move, and they have to move now.
The race begins. Ohio Jim. Plept yip the tabaxi rogue. They just bolt out onto the wet sand. You can just hear their boots crunching on brick and glass and coral.
It's a desperate treasure hunt. Pure opportunism. But it's fueled by this absolute necessity. They have this tiny window into history, and they have to find something to make Valindra's sacrifice worth it.
Because that effort might still kill her.
Exactly. And even though the water's gone, the danger isn't. There's this feeling of being watched.
And that feeling becomes very, very real.
A massive shadow shifts in the shallows. It's a huge shark, stranded by the retreating water, and its eyes are locked right on them.
The ocean is fighting back, even with its stranded proxies.
The irony is just perfect.
Okay.
They command the sea to retreat, and they end up fighting one of its apex predators on dry land.
It must have been such a bizarre fight. The shark flopping around on the sand, completely out of its element, but still incredibly deadly.
And Ohio Jim, of course, just charges straight at it. No hesitation.
It's a total reversal of the natural order. They're using land-based tactics against a sea creature on what is, for all intents and purposes, a temporary beach.
And they win. They manage to kill this massive beast on the sand. It's a surreal victory, but it proves that for this brief magical moment, the rules of the land have trumped the rules of the sea.
Okay, so the shark is dealt with, but Valindra is fading fast. The clock is ticking even louder now. They have to intensify the looting.
And they move with incredible speed. They hit the first wreck, and it's a simple classic find, a small trove of pearls.
Quick, easy value. And everyone who went out there gets a share, except for
Imogen and Nessa, who stayed back on the shore.
That feels important. It's a dividing line, isn't it, between the risk takers and the cautious ones?
Absolutely. The ones willing to step onto that forbidden ground for the reward, and the ones held back by a deeper apprehension.
The second wreck, though, was a much bigger deal. A ship called the Orca.
A much bigger find. They pull out a huge chest, and inside are items of real lasting power. A valuable spellbook and a magic wand. These aren't just trinkets, these are things that can change their future.
But the next discovery, it brings back a familiar face. A very, very small familiar face.
Timon the Crab.
Timon.
We last saw him in Session 10, still under Agatha's curse, still trying to break it. And they spot him, darting through the shallow water, running from another shark.
Of course.
And he's carrying a skeleton.
A tiny waterlogged skeleton. It's so absurd and so heroic at the same time.
He sees the companions, his only hope, and he manages to get the skeleton to them. And in its hand, is a simple, water-smooth stick.
Just a piece of driftwood.
Until Ohio Jim takes it, the moment he grips it, the whole thing transforms. It sheds the rot and becomes this gleaming, enchanted bow.
So it's not just loot, it's like a tailored gift from the sea's dead.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Timon and this long-dead archer were fulfilling some ancient purpose. It's a real reward for their risk. But my favorite detail, the one that just grounds the whole epic scene.
Has to be the shoehorn.
The shoehorn.
It's perfect.
On the last ship, among all this magic and treasure, they find a shoehorn. It's a moment of pure, beautiful absurdity.
Can you imagine? An entire ocean is about to crash down on your head, and you take a second to pick up a shoehorn.
I love it because it's a reminder that every one of these sunken ships was full of people with ordinary lives. Some guy just wanted to put his boots on easily.
And now his most boring possession is part of this epic treasure haul. But just as they get back to the shore with all this loot, the chaos they unleashed on the world seems to rebound internally.
Yes. Imogen, who stayed behind, is suddenly overwhelmed and just faints.
This is a huge shift. The action moves from external to internal. She's been dealing with all these suppressed memories, and this high-pressure magical environment seems to have just cracked that dam.
Exactly. While she's out, she has a vivid vision. It's not just a dream, it's a potent psychic event.
Right.
She wakes up moments later, completely confused, awestruck. She saw something important.
Something that might be the key to her whole story. The magic they used didn't just affect the ocean, it stirred something up in her too.
So while the others were getting physical treasures, she was pulled into a battle for a prophetic one. It's a perfect transition. They have the loot, but they also have this new psychological mystery to solve.
But first, they have to survive. Valindra is at her limit. She can't hold the sea back any longer.
She knows it's over. She commands the conch to stop.
And the ocean's response is instant and violent. It's not a gentle return. It's a deafening surge of water, a colossal force just reclaiming everything. The sand, the wrecks, the history, it's all gone in a flash.
And they're left there exhausted, shaken, and it's night now. The time they spent looting means they've missed their window. There's no way they can walk to Coneybury in time to meet Agatha.
So it demands one last desperate gamble with the very artifact that almost killed Valindra. They try to use it for transport.
They know it's unpredictable, but what choice do they have? They have to get to Agatha's cave, or Greely's curse remains. The whole quest will have been for nothing.
So they try to aim for Coneybury Village, but the conch has other ideas.
This is a fantastic detail. The artifact's logic overrides their intent. It ignores the geography of the village entirely.
And instead, they're just there. Instantly transported inside Agatha's secluded, dusty cave.
The conch didn't take them to the location, it took them to the person, to the objective. And they're standing right in front of her.
Not the ghostly Banshee form they met before.
No. They're standing before her lifeless corpse, draped in rags. She's there, but she's still very, very dead.
Which sets up the climax of the entire session.
Valindra, with the last of her strength, performs the final act. The entire reason she endured holding back the sea, she places the conch into Agatha's dead hands.
And the atmosphere just changes.
Instantly.
Yeah,
But it's different from the ocean parting. The air goes completely still, but it's charged with this humming energy, a fusion of power in ancient death.
It's not Talos' storm magic anymore. It's something older, deeper.
The source material gives these incredible visuals. Boulders at the cave entrance start to shift and groan, and then seaweed from some unseen crevice sprouts and grows at an impossible rate, weaving around the corpse.
Forming this glowing, mystical cocoon. This is where death starts to give way to something else.
A soft, otherworldly light starts to glow from inside the cocoon, and it's specifically not the harsh lightning of Talos. It's gentle, ancient. Agatha's body lifts into the air and begins to spin.
Her ethereal Banshee form, the ghost they knew, it's returning, but it's not just a ghost anymore. It's coalescing, stabilizing.
They're not just completing a bargain. They're performing a resurrection on a centuries-old being. They're bringing her back.
This changes everything.
Everything. The ritual completes. The spinning stops, the light fades, the seaweed falls away, and standing there before these weary companions is Agatha.
Fully alive, no longer a phantom, no longer a corpse, a physical living being holding the conch in her hands. The bargain is fulfilled.
What a night. I mean, think about it. They commanded the sea, they looted ancient shipwrecks, fought a shark on dry land, and resurrected a legend.
It's an impossible list of accomplishments.
But it raises the most important question of all, and it's really the core of this whole deep dive.
Yeah.
They did it. They fulfilled their bargain.
Yeah.
But they didn't just give a ghost what she wanted.
No.
They brought a powerful, ancient being back to the land of the living. And they handed her an artifact of immense elemental power.
Their mission was so simple at the start, save Sister Garela. The consequence of that success, though, is anything but simple.
Oh, it's monumental. The balance of power on the Sword Coast has just been dramatically altered. Agatha was a force, even as a ghost. Now she has a physical form and the power to command the seas.
They sought a cure.
And they unleashed a queen. The question now isn't just, is Gareli's curse lifted? The question is, what price will Agatha demand for lifting it? And what does this newly embodied, ancient, and probably ruthless figure plan to do now that she's back?
They traded one terrifying problem for a potentially much, much greater one. By turning a ghost into a living legend, they may have just started a story whose true cost is only just beginning to unfold.